Hey you guys, what's up? You are now tuned in to the Faith and Hustle show. I'm your host and celebrity realtor, Faith and Hustle, and we got sounds in the building.
Everybody.
You guys, today's special guest is somebody that is super multifaceted. She's a spiritual inspiration, an actress, an entrepreneur, and just a humanitarian, to name a few things. We have Eden James in the building.
Hey y'all, how you guys doing? Thank you for having me.
Show. It's a pleasure to have you. So, very seldomly do people really run across a lot of women who wear so many hats.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you break it down to the audience real quick so we can get into the discussion?
For sure. Okay, so Eden James is my personal brand. I'm an actress, model, public speaker, and humanitarian. And my entrepreneur hat, as far as a business owner, I'm CEO of the Starting Lineup, which is a 360 consulting firm that encompasses event planning, production, and management, media, publicity, and PR, as well as business consulting.
You're also an actress too, right?
Yes, ma'am. I am an actress. Have a couple projects coming out next year.
Oh, we have some stuff to look forward and talk about then. So
yes.
if we were to talk about your main thing when it comes to consulting, other businesses and brands, do you just look for a specific type or anybody?
No, I don't work with everybody. And I don't mean that because some people are like, oh, you're just too bougie. You just want to work with the big. No, I don't. I watch very closely. One, and two, because I am my own brand and I represent other brands also, I have to be very cautious of the brands that I take on and I work with and I associate with, because unfortunately they're not going to say, oh yeah, that's that so-and-so. They're going to be like, yo, isn't that Eden's client?
Right.
And you don't ever, bad publicity, not all publicity is good publicity. So I really look for people who are very like-minded like myself, who have the same grind and hustle as I do, because I will not go harder for somebody than they go harder for themselves.
So is there like a
That
form
part.
you gotta fill out to get with you, or what? Like you gotta go through an interview process, or?
I do have to take people under consulting unless I already know you. Like Wired Up, I know Wired Up. No, he's not one of my clients yet, but like I don't like. There's people, if I've already been watching you and I know you, you know what I mean. I really respect what you do. Then it's something different. But most times out of 10, whenever I have done one time where they're like, hey, you know, so and so wants to work with you. I know somebody. And they reached out to me, and like, I usually do my contracts for 3 months before. Now I've changed it to 6 months, mandatory contracts. But I stopped that before the 3 month even termed, just because it just, I'm a vibe person, I'm an energy person.
Me too.
And so anything that takes more stress and energy out of me than I feel is necessary, it's not worth my time.
Not at all.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So
being a woman in the industry,
yes.
I'm sure you've had to have your share of working harder. Do you have any advice for those who are kind of falling in your footsteps, to other people who are wanting to be the next Eden James, to stay focused, or like, what's your advice to anybody?
First I want to say thank you so much. I'm definitely humbled by your kind words, because I don't see myself like that or how anybody else sees me.
Really?
I don't. I honestly am just like, what? Because I just think I'm just hustling like everybody else. But anybody who would like to be a woman who's dominating in a male-dominated industry, I would strongly suggest, things that have helped me was to never compromise your self-respect and your integrity. So outwardly going in, it just happens to be that women have compromised their self-respect and their integrity in order to climb the ladder of success and be put in a position of power. I have not done
what
that.
they think is power.
Yeah, and I have not. That's one thing I definitely pride myself in my brand, is that it's like if I lost, I've turned a lot more opportunities down. You know, people get this whole starstruck, like, oh my God, so-and-so's trying to holler at me. And with me, it's like, no, I need that bag. So I feel like you're going to be better. We're going to work better as a collaborative in the business than we ever could do physically in a romantic kind of form. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's just get this money and focus on this.
Exactly. And so with that being stated, like, that's the one thing I honestly will say has really brought a lot of the respect and put me in positions of power with people in this industry, within Houston and outside of Houston, from independent to major.
Now, for y'all that don't know, she is super diverse with all the people she's worked with. She's worked with several notable talents such as Paul Wall, Memphis Bleak, Lil Kiki, Zero, Beanie Siegel. Like, the list goes on. Can you share like any experiences, like first time experiences for you working with people?
Yes, the very first experience I had actually before I had Paul Wall was super producer drummer boy Fresh.
Okay.
Out of Atlanta. He came, I was already with Armadale Vodka, doing the branding and brand specialty stuff with them. Drummer boy came in with Merino BHL Viet Specs. I'm like, I want to pick up a champagne. Let me go and network. So I go and I network. I'm like, what all do you have going on? Long story short, he really only came just to do that and launch his clothing line in Sugarland at an urban clothing store. So I was like, well, you have any interviews set up or anything like that? I set him up with 5 interviews during that one day, 5 or more interviews while he was in town, and had him host somewhere else. And these were all personal relationships that I had already built. Relationships that you had invited me over to interview me and things like that. And I was just like, hey, do you guys want to interview drummer boy Fresh? I didn't know who he was. I was just like, he's a producer. Okay, cool. And they're like, yes! So that was actually really dope because he was very, very humble, and a lot of people, I didn't know his caliber of experience and longevity in the industry at the time when we started working together. He's definitely one of my mentors and people that I look up to because he's very hands-on but yet very humble, and he's a hard worker for sure.
Those are like the best people to work
Yes.
with. Is like when you meet somebody and you don't know how prestigious they are, but they're so down to earth that it's just easy to talk to them. So if you never went up there that day to just say, hey, I want to hold this glass or this wine bottle, then that opportunity
Actually, I didn't even do that. I just waited, and I was like, hey, after he was done, I was like, hey, how are you doing? My name is Eden James. I wanted to know if we could network and build a relationship. What do you have going on in the city of Houston? If there's anything I can do, let me know what we can do.
Straightforward.
That's the best way to do,
And so that's
you know.
pretty, like, I'm definitely like,
Be straightforward
yeah,
with your
I'm
intentions.
just, exactly. I'm not the type that's gonna like 50 Cent has a tasting today. I'm not the type that's gonna like go buy the bottle, stand in line. Like, no, I'm not here. I'm here to support you, but I'm not here to do that.
Well, it's just,
we need to get the business, and I need to go.
right. I want to talk to you real quick about your company, the starting lineup, because you use your platform for positivity and inspiration to help individuals' life purpose outside of what they're doing. What do you have lined up for 2020?
2020 is a big year. It's going to be our 5th year anniversary.
Congrats.
Thank you so much. I've taken a lot of the first 2 years were really pivotal for me because most of the relationships, all the relationships I have now were all relationships that I built in my first year, 6 months of having my company. And so the rest of this time has just been nurturing and watching that grow. So for the 5th year, it's really going to be about me refocusing back on my brand and relaunching it again for the 5th year. Have a lot of different events coming up. Got some tours that we're setting up with my clients and their labels.
I follow you on Instagram, so I try to keep up with all my previous special guests, but anything that you have going on, you feel free to just tag us on it.
Okay.
We'll share it. We'll even be there.
Awesome.
But, you know, I really like how your bio says that your level of self-respect and integrity is like through the roof. And I hope that a lot of other women who are aspiring like me to be bigger and more out there for our services to the community to keep that integrity in a male-dominated industry.
Yes, ma'am. That's definitely one thing that I extremely emphasize, and I can't stress anymore, because people only respect us as much as we respect ourselves. And unfortunately, regardless of how high a level respect we have for ourselves, people are still going to do what they do, because at the end of the day, people disrespected Jesus, and Jesus was already Jesus. You know what I mean? So who are we to be human and expect anything less?
So what's this new movie you got coming up, this upcoming film project?
Eureka Road is a project that I was brought on. It's a Donna Kahlo film. We're having our first premiere at the River Oaks Theater on January 23rd.
Oh.
So we're going to have one here, Austin, Dallas, and I think Atlanta, several other cities out. We just finished re-editing Harvey movie, which we premiered a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And so I'm super excited about that. The people who have been editing it have been on projects or are with Lionsgate, and Michael Sterling Films is the director, executive producer, writer as well of that film. So he's been doing a lot of networking. We have a lot of surprises. Great team behind that.
Teaser about your role in this movie?
Yes. In Harvey, I do play a lead actress. My name is Kendra. I play the teacher, mother, and wife to Cedric, who's played by Antron Harris, who's definitely an amazing actor in Houston, who's definitely on the rise, and hopefully we see him on bigger projects.
Right.
Which he has been already on a lot, but definitely on the big screen coming soon.
How did it feel to actually be on a movie set of something that you actually probably had directly impacted you? Like,
I will definitely say that movie and my performance and delivery, that has to be one of my most heartfelt deliveries that I think I've ever been in film-wise, because it did touch so close to home. So it was definitely an honor. The people who are actually in that film, I don't know if y'all remember during Harvey, there was a big van that lost like a family of 6 people with the grandma, the uncle, the grandkids. The 2 sons who survived, who were family members, they were actually driving to those family members' houses, are in the movie. So they actually go to the tombstone, like the burial site, this movie has a lot of real stuff happening that's based on really what happened during Harvey. I'm just really blessed and humbled to be part of such.
So of all the hats you wear, which is your most favorite?
Okay, coming into the industry, acting is something that I had already been doing before I found out I was pregnant with my daughter when I was 19.
Oh, wow.
So my passion is in acting for sure. And I stopped and left the game when I had her, just to be mom and soccer mom and do that. In 2011, 12, 13, that's when I got called back into the industry. So everything that I do now, the game actually chose me. And so these are just stuff that I've always been strong in ever since I was younger. My favorite thing, also pick one thing. What is your most favorite thing? I was like, out of my passion, my favorite thing is to build businesses and run empires. Like, that is what I do best.
You have a servant's heart then.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yes.
And you said you're a mom.
Mm-hmm.
So how has time management been for you? Because I have 2 children.
Yes.
And once I had my first one, I was okay. I was usually a little late, but now my second one, things have gotten harder with managing my time. You have any advice for motherhood and business?
Motherhood and business. I would definitely say my daughter is going to be 18 on Christmas Eve this month. So I didn't start actually networking and getting into the business until she was 12. So she was a lot older than most moms who are trying to be entrepreneurs. They're still toddlers. If that is the case, going back, I wouldn't change a thing. I think those younger ages are very, very critical for mom to bond with the daughter. And I didn't have that. My mom worked and my dad worked, and so I was just kind of like this child that was just there.
I feel you.
So that's really, really important, like doing the whole soccer mom thing. But now growing into it, I think I'm just really thankful first that my daughter has been very patient with me and wanting to see me grow and create a legacy for her to come into, So it's definitely a hand-in-hand thing. Most parents are like, well, no, just sit there and listen, which I tell her to do that. Yes, she does have to do that.
Right.
But it's also with the patience in her doing that as well, because she enjoys a lot of the stuff I do, and we both have pretty packed schedules. But her seeing things that I do, it's also sparked things within her. So she's going to school to be a journalist. She's launching her website.
Okay. Wow.
So she's doing her own little thing. Like I told her, I'm like, for you not to create your own lane right now with the network that you have access to, I said, would not be great.
Right.
Because at least now you can go to college, come out and say, I need to be paid this because I've had a platform growing for the last 5 years, and these are all the people that I've interviewed. So it's really just creating a legacy and be able to pass the baton and plant seeds so that way they can flourish and
she's
be great.
building her own legacy without even having to really use you as her stepping stool, And I think that's really cool. I bring my kids with me once in a while. My youngest can't handle it, but my oldest, I think it's important for your youth or your kids to see what it is that you're doing, and the fact that you said she understands you're building a legacy.
That just happened recently, because before she was like, I just don't understand, you're just going out partying all the time. Because she's also getting fed what she's hearing and what she's seeing. I'm in the nightlife, I'm with this person, I'm with that person. So it's like, how does this work? Where do you clock in at?
So before we end this first segment of your interview, I want to have you drop your Instagram and all your social media so everybody can follow you and keep up.
I would like all of you guys to follow me on all my social media platforms at EDEN, Eden, IZ is Paradise, PARADISE. Except for Twitter, because somebody was a hater and I don't know why it's suspended. So my Twitter, I have to rebuild, is now Miss Eden James, MSEDEN James on Twitter.
Y'all don't go nowhere. Keep it locked right here on 92 Kells.